Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for joining me here today so that we can discuss Attrition. So this movie stars Steven Seagal as a former Special Forces operator, been there, done that, done everything, you can do in that role. And he's really come to kind of regret what he's done, and he wants to make peace with, the damage that he's caused and the people that he's hurt, the lives he's impacted. So he becomes a healer in a remote village where he gets into acupuncture and a massage and all that kind of stuff, and he's just going to live out the rest of his days, just chilling out, making amends for the past. That all changes, however, when he's approached by a father whose daughter's been kidnapped. The guy's desperate; he'll do anything, and it kind of turns something, in his mind. By the way, Steven Seagal's character's name in this movie is Axe. So Axe decides, he's got to get back in now and help this guy find his daughter, and that's kind of the crux of how we get going here in Attrition. So Attrition, to me, 90% of this movie is completely boring. I mean, there's some interesting stuff. Like, it's funny to see Steven Seagal as like a holistic healer, and Steven Seagal's acting is always kind of funny to watch. But there's not much action. The story is like kind of bland, aside from like the fact that he's a healer. They don't really do much with that gimmick here. But most of the movie, it's there's not much action. It's just kind of there. It's not super boring, but it's just kind of like, nothing. It's just like you just kind of zone out because like nothing's happening. But then the last 10% of this movie really kicks off. There is like unbelievably blood-soaked violence in this last 10% of the movie. Just all kinds of gunfire, all kinds of martial arts. There's a crazy scene at the end. For some reason, Steven Seagal's performing with like an orchestra. I don't really understand. I guess he's into music. But anyway, let me check my notes real quick. Oh yeah, there's a great scene in this, by the way. Even if you only want to watch the movie for this one scene, there's a scene where Steven Seagal chops a guy's arms off with a katana. Amazing. Like, that scene alone is enough to recommend Attrition, even though 90% of the movie is awful. But, great finale. If you're like me and you just think Steven Seagal's naturally funny and entertaining to watch, you can probably make it through Attrition. But, tough it out, make it to the end, because the last 10% is really good. The finale is a lot of fun and really over the top. And man, if the whole movie would have been that good, like, Attrition could have been great. But as it is, it's a pretty flop movie except for the ending. So unless you're like a diehard Steven Seagal fan and you really got to see him cut off a guy's arms with a katana, which you should. I mean, it's a really great scene. Anyway, I'm going to spend all day here talking about cutting off arms with a katana. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. I do greatly appreciate it. And I've got tons more on here if you want to check them out. But thanks for watching this one, and hopefully I'll see you soon.